This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
It's Tuesday, February 3, 2026. INEC's continuous voters registration is on. Use the opportunity to register to vote. On the news this evening, community leader calls for vigilantes and police stations to stop one-chance robbery and kidnapping in Okey, Rivers State. NAFDAC reveals Rivers and Lagos states lead in alcohol abuse among minors. President Tinubu steps in again to end feud between Governor Fubara and FCT Minister Okey. On the foreign scene, thousands of Epstein documents taken down after victims identified. I am Okey. Onwugbonu. Details of these and more will be reaching you in a moment. Stay with us. And now, details of the news. A community leader in Okey local government area, God knows Anele, has called for urgent action to stop the growing cases of one-chance robbery and kidnapping in the area. Speaking to correspondent Emeka Otuka, Anele said communities should bring back local vigilante groups to help protect people. He also said youth leaders should work together with these groups to fight crimes. He asked the government to build a police station in Okey so that police can respond quickly when there is danger.
We have interfaced with the local government chairman to also come in and threaten the security apparatus within the OSPAC so that you can fight with their camp in Okey. And then we are also calling on the police to also set up a kind of police post in Okey to help the youth leaders to cope this menace. We have already sent messages to all the community leaders and the chiefs to warn their children. Anybody caught in this act again will be prosecuted by the security agents. I think to some extent, as I speak with you, the issue of land grabbing and this kidnapping has reduced drastically.
Anele added that some efforts of youth leaders in Okey and the steps taken by the council chairman Chima Boniface Njoko to stop land grabbing have helped reduce crime in some areas.
This menace has stopped to some extent, but it's not completely over. There are still little cases here and there. But the effort we've made as youth leaders is collaborating with the local government chairman. And so we advise every youth leader from every community to set up vigilante groups. So if you see any strange face, please report them to the security agent or report them to the central youth body so that action can be taken.
Recently, some victims told Nigeria Info FM how they were attacked by one-chance criminals. They say the criminals took them to Okey, collected ransom from their families, stole their belongings, and took money from their bank accounts. While security on the roads remains a concern, another hidden danger is emerging quietly within homes: underage drinking. NAFDAC says Rivers State and Lagos State have the highest number of children and underage people who drink alcohol sold in sachets and plastic bottles. The agency did a survey across 6 states and spoke to 1,788 people between June and August 2021. The survey checked how children and young people get alcohol and how often they drink it. Children below 13 years and teenagers between 13 and 17 years were included. Presenting the findings of the survey on Tuesday, NAFDAC Director General Professor Mojishola Adeyeye said alcohol is one of the common drugs young people abuse because alcohol is easy to buy and easy to find. The report also revealed that minors and underage respondents also access alcohol from friends and relatives, social gatherings, and parents' homes. And it's not just homes that expose young people to alcohol. The President General of Rivers Youth Agenda, Dr. Buduka Waliogba, has spoken against the placing of alcohol adverts on flyovers in Rivers State. Waliogba, in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka, said it's wrong, especially now that many young people are abusing drugs and alcohol. According to him, flyovers and other public places should be used to share good messages about safety, development, and positive values, not to advertise alcohol. He warned that showing alcohol adverts in public places expose children and road users to bad influence and can encourage more drinking and drug abuse.
The use of the flyovers in River State for alcoholic beverages advert is very wrong. We condemn it to what it is. River State has a color. So changing the color of River State to alcoholic beverages is what we don't understand. These flyovers constructed by His Excellency Chief Barrister E.M. Wike for the betterment and the use of Rivers people.
Dr. Wale Ogba called on RISA and other authorities to review their approval, remove the alcohol adverts, and make stricter rules about what can be advertised in public places. He also asked the state government to support policies that help young people live healthy lives and learn good values.
I'd like to use this opportunity to call on River State government, all the relevant authorities, including the security agencies, the Port Harcourt City Local Government Chairman of Onwugbonu Local Government Area, should rise up and see to what is happening in our flyovers. So as a matter of urgency, stop those who are using the flyover constructed for the use of Rivers people for an advert.
As you may know, the branding of flyovers with alcoholic beverages has stirred reactions on social media, with many residents expressing concern that the alcohol adverts and flyovers are spoiling the look of the city. Meanwhile, Rivers State remains under national attention, and this time for its political crisis. Reports say President Bola Tinubu has stepped in again to stop the fight between Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. The problem between them has lasted for months and caused serious trouble in the state, including attempts to remove the governor, problems in the House of Assembly, and long periods of tension and instability. President Tinubu had earlier tried to settle their disagreement in December 2023, but the peace did not last. Later, on March 18, 2025, the president declared emergency rule in Rivers State and suspended the governor for 6 months because of the crisis. Sources told this day that the president told Governor Fubara clearly that Wike remains the main political leader in Rivers State, whether in APC or PDP, and that he must be respected. Tinubu was said to have clearly told Wike to back off any impeachment plots against Fubara and allow governance in the state. In a related development, elder statesman Anab Saraigbe has asked President Tinubu to put the needs of the people of Rivers State first in the peace deal reportedly made between FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and Governor Siminalayi Fubara. Saraigbe made the call in an interview with correspondent Suebi Oruwari.
As Rivers people, we need to know what is the peace agreement. But if those terms are not known to us, that if the people don't accept those terms, there will be no peace. But if the terms are agreed known to us and be acceptable to everybody, then there will be peace. Rivers State is not owned by Wike and Sim. They are just a representative of the state. So Mr. President making peace, he must do peace based on justice, based on the truth. He must respect the office of the governor. He must be fair to Rivers people. So he must do what is the interest of Rivers State, not the interest of Wike or Sim.
Saraigbe said any real truth should tell members of the Rivers State House of Assembly to stop using threats of impeachment to settle small political arguments.
They cannot be using impeachment as a Dracula sword on the governor. If the governor is decisive and is behaving like Wike, I don't think that Dracula sword can be hanged on his neck. Rather, he will use the Dracula sword to pursue them. Because Wike himself has several executive orders which are still subsisting. And there are laws in the Wike's time, so there can still be laws in his time. They can use those laws against them. If they think Section 188 is what they want to use as a Dracula sword, it did not start with the assembly and end with the assembly. It's a process.
Saraigbe also reminded everyone that in 2027 it will be the people of Rivers State, not the FCT minister or his supporters, who would choose the next governor.
So far as we are concerned, Rivers State, we want peace. Anything that can drive peace for us, we appreciate. But Wike cannot tell us who will become our governor. Rivers State will decide who will become governor. Because if Wike bring another person to, they will still fight. Nobody can take what Same is taking from Wike. No person in Rivers State can tolerate Wike the way Same has tolerated him. So if you think, even if he brings his own son, he will fight him. And that fight will continue to be with chasing. We are just beginning 2006. And somebody is talking of 2007 as if it's God. You are not God.
Let's take a break. When we return, you will hear an analyst talking about how Wike-led PDP faction is escalating party crisis with national convention. Stay with us.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
You're welcome back. Now, the rest of the news. A Lagos-based political analyst and lawyer, Liberos Oshoma, says the decision by the PDP faction aligned with the FCT Minister Onwugbonu to plan the national convention indicates that the party's lingering internal crisis is escalating beyond solution. Oshoma said this in an interview with correspondent Suebi Oruwari while explaining the implications of the decision to convene a national convention without formal recognition amid ongoing legal battles involving the party's national leadership. He said the Ibadan High Court judgment did not explicitly confer authority on that faction to act on behalf of the party, as it failed to resolve the numerous contentious issues raised by aggrieved members.
And the court so ruled that you cannot violate court orders and then turn around to request the court to give you a stamp of authority. It is not for them, the weakest faction, to go and conduct a congress while excluding the other faction. The court also did not recognize any particular faction. No court order has empowered any of the factions of PDP. I think the best thing for them would be for all of them to still come together, harmonize all their cases in court and resolve.
Oshoma further defended the court, clarifying that the judgment did not impose leaders on the party, nor did it contradict decisions of the Supreme Court. He explained that the High Court merely interpreted the constitution of the party and outlined a legal pathway for resolving the crisis.
The court did not impose and say, these people are your leaders. Oh, these people are your caretaker committee, which is what the Supreme Court has said. The court should not impose leader on a party. The court simply gave a direction, as it is today, that there is a vacuum in the leadership of the party. That election that they had is a nullity, and the tenure of the former elected leaders has lapsed, and the election purporting to elect new leaders has been nullified. The only leaders you can get now is a caretaker committee until you conduct a valid congress and convention.
In the meantime, a PDP chieftain, Tony Ehilebo, has alleged that the FCT Minister Onwugbonu is responsible for the crisis in the opposition party. Ehilebo said this on Tuesday during an interview on Channels Television, claiming Wike is still aggrieved over the outcome of the PDP presidential primary of 2022 and exercised the lost of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. On a positive note for the judiciary, the Senate on Tuesday approved the nomination of Justice Joseph Oyewole for appointment as a Justice of the Supreme Court. The resolution of the Red Chamber followed his consideration of the report of his Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters that screened the nominee and approved its recommendation. The report was presented by the chairman of the committee, Senator Adeniyi Adengbomire. Back to local developments in Rivers State, the chairman of Equator Local Government Area, Charles Onwugbonu, has reiterated his administration's commitment to reconnecting electricity to all communities in the area. Onwugbonu stated this during a meeting with the paramount ruler of Ishopo, King Blessing Wago, and members of his Council of Chiefs at the Monarch's Palace in Ishopo. He described the electrification project as a key capital project of the council, explaining that the electrification committee set up across the communities are to work out payment modalities for electricity bills and assess power usage in households. The Equator Council chairman also appealed to residents to support the local government's efforts towards the successful implementation of the Light Up project. Earlier, chairman of the Ishopo Electricity Committee, Lucy Azubike, thanked the Equator Council chairman Charles Onwugbonu for restoring electricity in the Ishopo community. Azubike noted that before the chairman's intervention, the entire Equator local government area had been in total darkness for several years until the assumption of office of Honorable Charles Onwugbonu. As a boost for education in Rivers State, a business mogul and chief executive officer of Gilly Global Resources Limited, Lacey Mau, has announced a 100 million naira endowment fund to support academic development, research and capacity building at the newly established Federal University of Environment and Technology, TAI, in Rivers State. Lacey Mau, who is also the president of the Apex Social Cultural Organization of the Ogoni people, Kagote, made the announcement while chairing the maiden matriculation ceremony of the university held at Sakwenwa. He urged the newly matriculated students to remain focused, disciplined, and committed to learning what goes beyond the mere pursuit of academic certificates.
So I will ask and urge Vice Chancellor and the entire management team of this university and also the students not to come your certificate will not be mere piece of paper, but the knowledge and skills you acquire from here will be applied in the society that will better Ogoni, better Rivers State, and better Nigeria and the world at large.
The Okey president, who reaffirmed his long-standing commitment to educational development in Ogoni land, also called on the federal government to urgently release a takeoff grant for the university to enable it start full academic and infrastructural operations.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
The U.S. Department of Justice has removed thousands of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein from its website after victims said their identities had been compromised. Lawyers for Epstein's victims said a lack of reductions in the files released on Friday turned upside down the lives of nearly 100 survivors. Email addresses and nude photos in which the names and faces of potential victims could be identified were included in the release. Survivors issued a statement calling the disclosure outrageous and said they should not be named, scrutinized, and re-traumatized. The DOJ said it had taken down all the flagged files under mistakes were due to technical or human error.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
And that's our package on the news this evening. You heard that a community leader is calling for vigilantes and a police station to stop one-chance robbery and kidnapping in Okey, Rivers State. You also heard that the NAFDAC has revealed that Rivers and Lagos States led in alcohol abuse among minors. We told you that President Tinubu has stepped in again to end a feud between Governor Fubara and FCT Minister Wike. On the foreign scene, thousands of Epstein documents have been taken down after victims were identified. That was the news, as edited by Martha Okey. The Region News team send an SMS or WhatsApp message to 0808-721-7215. I am Okey Onwugbonu. Good evening, and many thanks for listening.